Hi, I'm Azra.
And hi, I'm Theandra.
And you're listening to the A&T Friendship Diaries. What's up, y'all, and welcome back to another
None Your Business.
Our Tuesday segment here where we talk about stuff that is none of our business, but it's either posted somewhere online or in this case on Netflix. And so it is our business.
It is. We about to make it our business today. Okay.
So I was watching. It's another one of those times where I start watching something and I have to either stop it, pause it, whatever, so that I can wait until Thede and I are together so that we can watch it.
Right.
So I messed around and came across, it's called Untold, The Girlfriend That Didnt Exist, which is the, how do you say his name?
Manti-Te'o or something like that.
Manti-Te'o story.
Manti-Te'o,
I know his last name is Teo. Okay. So yes, it's the Manti-Te'o story, and it has 2 episodes. I managed to get through the first episode, but in the first episode, I was in complete disbelief. So after that, I was just like, oh yeah, we gotta hit pause because Didi has to see this.
You never heard of his story, right? Or didn't I bring it up to you? Remember that one time I think I said it to you, or maybe I was talking to somebody else. But I heard of the story. I just never dived into it. So I
never heard this story before. No, I've never heard this story before. I was completely flabbergasted, clutching my pearls, like, absolutely not. This cannot be real life. But it is, or was, or however you want to say it. So Manti-Te'o is a football star.
Yep.
He played for Notre Dame.
Linebacker. My favorite position, by the way. I love football. If y'all didn't know, I love me a good linebacker.
I think that they know that you love football. Okay. You are so funny.
Love me a linebacker. Okay.
So he's in high school. Then he ends up going to play for Notre Dame. While he's there at Notre Dame, he meets a young lady online who says that her name is Lene. And it starts off mad casual. She sent him a Facebook friend request.
So she saw him out.
She seeked him, yes. It starts off mad casual. And then little by little, they start having more and more conversation. And it implodes into this huge thing. The thing about Lene is that we know from like first 3 minutes in that Lene was not Lene. Lene was a dude named Renaya, pretending to be this chick Lene whose picture he has stolen. He said he went to high school or something like that with her. And he stole her picture and created this profile and created this name because he was wrestling with his sexual identity within himself.
Correct. And he was like, I didn't know where I could ever be who I wanted to be in real life. So he created his own fantasy world. And let me tell you, like, I had heard of the story. And so I didn't, but I never looked into it. So I know it was supposed to be like either a catfish or was it a hoax? Because I remember people saying hoax, and so I didn't know if it was something he was in on or not. We'll get off into that.
From watching this was not a hoax.
No, it was not.
This poor baby was catfish.
He was like catfish like a mug. But let me tell you, what's his name? I just know him as Lene. Lene, if she took her catfishing to a professional level, that's all I'm saying.
She definitely was good at her catfishing. On her Facebook account, So it's the dude Renera. So on the Facebook account, he pretends to be Lene. He has added quote unquote family members. I still don't know if these people were actually people from his family, but he builds this whole persona around this Lene person and starts talking to all these different dudes allegedly, but
Supposedly. Yeah, we
we
saw
saw
it.
it, but he starts talking to all these different dudes on Facebook. And once the dudes were like boom kind of on the hook, of course, just like with anybody, male or female, the guys were like, when can I see you,
Hmm.
like when can we meet? And then she would just go and unfriend them. Like you did all of that to just unfriend
And
them.
not to mention, it's not like she wrote down who was her family, like mom did. No, she went and created these profiles.
Correct. And friended the profiles.
Yeah, like she went deep,
Very intricate.
very intricate, very detailed. Okay, and oh, I'm not gonna jump ahead, but yeah. So
No, go ahead. We don't even gotta give it in order because the whole thing is messy. So
and
we can do it messy.
and then you'll be like, oh, were they messaging all the time? No, they talked, and she even sounded like
A female.
a female.
They talked on the phone. He left voicemail messages pretending to be Lene and sounded like a straight woman. I don't mean straight as in not. I'm just saying
Sounded
sounded
like a real woman,
all female.
a natural woman.
And then on top of that, so okay, when Lene, I'm using air quotes, sends the friend request to Manti,
Manti-Te'o. Yeah.
yeah, when she sends a friend request to Manti sees that they have a mutual friend.
Right.
There were all of these different little things that aided in him getting catfished. So the mutual friend ended up being Manti's cousin. So he calls his cousin and he's like, yo, do you know this girl named Lene? And his cousin's like, yeah, I know her. We've talked a few times. For me, that was a mistake right there. You don't know her. You met
No.
her on Facebook just like Manti just met her on Facebook. You don't know nothing about her for real. This could be anybody.
Right.
But this happened in 2009 when catfishing, I guess, wasn't a thing.
Yeah, it's not as popular. Like it wasn't known, and then especially in his circle, because like he's Polynesian. Like
She claimed to be Polynesian, but
she,
I believe that Renera, the dude that was
he
playing Lene,
was.
was actually really Polynesian,
Yeah.
which also helped sell
Yeah, because he knew the
this whole
culture. Yeah,
story.
he knew the culture, and that's why they were able to connect and all of that, and reel him in. And he met the need that he needed at that time because he was in college playing football. I don't have time to like be
Have a
a typical
relationship.
boyfriend.
Yeah,
So this long distance thing is working for me because that's all I can give you right now.
right.
Because if you don't know, athlete schedules are so demanding.
Yeah. And he was, I mean, Notre Dame
Halfway
is
across
a
the
big school.
yeah, and he wasn't even no they weren't even in the same
We can't ignore the fact either that his ass seemed a little green as well. Like he was from Hawaii. I feel like his whole life he just grew up around family. He was very disciplined. His dad was very much involved in his life. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he was sheltered um just from the bad things that go bump in the night.
right. And then
Let's
let's
just say
not
it
act
like
like and then
that.
let's he was in college. So everybody wondered like how did he know it's grown folks out here to this day after the whole catfish show
In
still getting
2022,
catfish.
getting scammed.
Right.
Absolutely. Because
So we
catfishing ain't nothing but a scam.
right, it's just a scam. So we can't sit up here and pretend like, you know, like we just so surprised that he fell
Yeah, he
for it.
fell for it. Correct.
Because he ain't the only one.
No, not at all. And again, there were all of these factors. The
Oh
fact
yeah, it
that
went deep.
Lene had this profile. Lene was also, what was it, Polynesian? like him. Lene, his cousin said he knew Lene
And then he was messaging other people in her on
for
her
based
friend list,
off her friend list.
inboxing them was like, "Hey, do you know her?" Like,
So that baby really did try to do his due diligence
yeah, and everybody's
and
like, "Yeah,"
finding out.
which he should have been like, "Why are you talking to all these dudes?"
Right.
Anyway,
But yeah, there were a bunch of different people that verified her, which again goes back to saying that you know somebody is, I mean, you can't
so
change
what
your
is no?
verbiage. Yeah, like
So
you,
what does it mean to know? Because in the Bible,
girl, don't don't start.
to know is to know. Okay. So when they was like, so that's what I was
we
like,
we know that's not what he was
I
asking.
know.
You
But
are
I'm
so
saying they was
funny.
like, yeah, we know her, but none of y'all have met her.
No, nobody had actually met her, and everybody was like, "Yeah, we know her." Like, if somebody would have just said, "Well, I've not actually ever seen her before," maybe that might have been a red flag.
But if I be like, hey, do you know Johnny Depp? Or if I be like, hey, do you know LeBron James? You be like, yeah. Not that you know them, but you know them
I
because
mean, but I also make that clear when somebody
like,
asks me that
but
because it's
somebody
like, why are you asking me that? You know what I'm
right,
saying?
but nobody's gonna assume that you met LeBron or met Johnny Depp. We just gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah, you
Well,
know.
I'm gonna make it clear that I haven't.
So maybe you know
I
they
mean, I know that he played basketball. That's what I'm gonna be like. You know what I'm saying? This is what I know about that person. I know this one fact. I know what everybody else in America knows.
I know what's in his wiki, okay? That's all I know.
Correct. I don't know where
But
this
everybody said they
changed.
knew her. But you know what? In their defense, weren't they all like
They were all young.
they were all young, and weren't they all like
What?
I was gonna say all like Polynesian, but no, she probably talked to everyone.
There was a
No, it
bunch
was
of
just
there was
every.
a
But
bunch
it
of
was
different
in the
people.
era where catfishing wasn't really like known. But yeah, everybody
No,
knew her, so it's not like
first he thought he had validated who she was.
yeah,
There are text messages that show him asking people, "Do you know her?" So he tried to do his due
yeah, he
diligence,
did.
and everybody responded, "Yes, I know her." So no, he's not thinking somebody's playing a trick on me
Right.
because that doesn't make any sense. Because who does that?
No, and then they FaceTimed.
They tried to FaceTime, but she said, Renera, aka Lene, said that when the
Wait, is
show
Rhaenyra
Catfish.
is that one of the?
No, Renera's the dude who pretended to be Lene.
I know, but isn't Rhaenyra? Ain't that like how is that House of the Dragon? Ain't one of them names Rhaenyra?
So is we saying the baby's name wrong?
I don't know because
Yo.
because I'm just thinking,
Right, it does
is he a
sound like that.
Targaryen?
Yes. Okay. That could be bad.
Maybe he got a dragon, so we don't know. I'm just saying.
Yo, we will butcher people's names. That shit is so funny. And don't care.
He don't
I'm
care.
gonna keep going.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the dude that was pretending to be this chick, Lene, keeps this shit ongoing for time
Yes.
because at some point he develops feelings for my like real genuine feelings
Yeah. Because
for
they
Mr.
talked.
Teo.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Correct. You know what the part of the story that also got me is there's this voicemail that Lene leaves. No, it's a text message that she sends to Monty, and she's like, "Hey, can we pray before you go to bed?" And I was just like, that's such an emotional thing, in my opinion.
mhm.
If we praying together, like this is something like we have
This is
we
yeah.
we ha- we
This
have
deep.
something that hell yeah, that's deep. And she was the initiator of it. Like, ma'am, you're the one that's slowly building this connection. Hey, can we pray together before you go to bed? Like, she knew who this man was. She knew the man loved the Lord.
Yeah.
She knew the man prayed. She knew the man came from, what would they say he was? Mormon?
Mm-hmm.
That he came from a strong, tight knit Mormon family. And I feel like he even played on that, or she. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to whatever, you know,
Identity.
that they may refer to themselves as. So don't take this as any type of shade. But at the end of the day, he would be Lene, and then he will also be out in public being himself,
Right.
which was a guy.
And he also was himself as a guy to Manti as well.
Exactly, because he pretended to be Lene's cousin.
Yeah.
So he would also have conversations because, again, they went from just talking on the phone, but then it began to bleed over. Lene talked to his parents and he talked to people in her family. Well, he talked to her.
Heard her many personalities.
He talked to some of her personalities. He talked to
her real niece.
Well, actually, it was her little sister.
Her little sister, but you had to
she
play it off as her niece.
pretended like it was her niece. And he talked to Renier, the dude who was pretending to be Lene,
and her sister too.
Oh,
because her sister's the one that called him.
Can you not understand why this man didn't know if he was freaking coming or going?
Right, because even if I don't believe, like, even if I had doubts, like you might be catfishing me, I am talking to a whole dude who is your cousin. Okay, right. I talked to your sister, and I'm pretty sure they've been on the phone long enough. He could tell their voices apart.
And everybody said that it sounded like a female, that Lene has this female, just kind voice.
Right, but not even that. But think about it. If I'm talking to you, your sister, your niece, and your cousin, that means all four of y'all got to be in on this whole catfish thing, which sounds really weird. Like, why 4 people ain't got nothing else better to do to help you sell a lie? That don't even make sense. But now that when you understand that she played all characters,
except for her baby sister, aka the niece.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, this thing was so
elaborate,
extreme,
and
I'm telling you, I was so pissed off just watching the first episode. This is why I couldn't watch the second episode without you, because are you freaking kidding me? Okay, so then we got to continue on with the story for those who have not watched it. So then it goes on to where she knows that she needs to end the relationship with Manti,
but she don't know how.
But she doesn't know how. So she pretends to be in a car accident.
No. Before you jump there, she had an opportunity. She knew she needed to end it. Had an opportunity to end it to where she could have saved face, but because for whatever reason she didn't, because he had started to get like famous at this college. Correct. So their talking had started to span down to the point where he wasn't communicating with her as often. So what she should have done was deleted her account, fell back, and he'd be like, I never would have known what happened to her. But she was leaving him all kind of crazy voicemails like, I miss you, I know you're busy.
Other people are taking up your time. Like, no, you already know that this cannot be a thing for real.
It can't be real.
Let this go. But she pretended to then be like a jealous girlfriend. Like,
yes,
it just got even more weird. So then right after that, that's when he decides that his character Lene is going to have a tragic car accident. He then himself calls Manti as the cousin, pretending to be the cousin, to say that Lene has been in this car accident. Then supposedly Lene's brother
on life support.
Then supposedly Lene's brother gets on the phone, who we also know is played by the same person. Shit.
And this year's Oscar award.
Damn it. So then Lene's brother said, "Hey, I can take you into the room basically and put you on speaker so that you can talk to her." And in on this documentary, Manti says that he can hear the breather machine and then he begins to mimic what he hears. Are you telling me that she went as far to pretend to be on a breathing machine and had breathing machine noises to where he could hear that shit in the background?
And he just talking to her. And then he had
I'm
a
praying
nurse.
for you. Wait, wait, I'm praying for you. My family's praying for you. You just hold on. It's gonna get. He's
He's
bothered.
pouring into her.
He is pouring into her because in his mind, his girlfriend or the girl that he cares about was in a car accident and is now on life support, and all he can hear is these machines breathing for her. Are you effing kidding me? Bro, I was so done. I'm still done just even talking to you about it because, huh? He can hear the machines. Like, that's really throwing me. Where do machine noises come from?
I don't know. Maybe she, she's
What?
made them with her mouth, or put up a YouTube video played in the background.
Somebody's asthma mask, would you put the albuterol in?
No, that does not sound like her. That's like,
No, I mean,
no.
not when you turn the machine on, just the mask itself.
Oh, and just
to make that Darth Vader sound.
I don't know. We'll listen to this. I can't hear it. I don't know if it sounds like I'm on life support right now.
But he did it good.
He did it good.
Yeah, he does it really good. But that in itself just goes to show you how far
No.
this dude was willing
To
to
go.
take it.
But he even had the nurse.
A pretend nurse.
Yeah, get on the phone. So this is even a step further. You brought in a healthcare professional that said, "Oh, you know what? Out of all the people in the room, this is the most response that we have gotten from her." So
The
now,
sound of your voice,
yes,
is causing the most response that we have gotten. So now he thinks
yes, it's
his voice is aiding in help saving her life, which
and he called her every day.
because he thought
Yes,
that that's what that was doing it.
yeah.
And that just goes to show you how much into her he was. He wanted to help her. If me calling and talking to her is going to help her get through this, then I'm going to take the time and call every day. And he did. And it was fake. Like,
Baby's so sweet. Baby was so sweet.
I think this young man is super commendable. And the way
Because I'd have been saying, I
he
don't think
was
this gonna work
played,
out. Would you?
I mean, you is on life support.
Right. Now it's up to you whether you follow my voice and come back. But just know that
I'm gonna be
your
out.
boy is out. No, I
But
gotta
he
go.
wasn't.
I gotta draft him. No, just say
Correct. He has,
we
and that's the thing we don't even think about. He has all of these things going on. He's at Notre Dame on a scholarship. He's got football, which is
his
his life.
family's dependent on him.
His family is dependent on him. And now, and he doesn't want to let himself down.
Right.
Because again, he seems like he's that type of person that he probably puts a lot of pressure on himself to be. He said his dad asked him when he was a kid, what did he want to be? And he said the best. And he said, and from that moment on, his dad just poured into him. Like this baby had real hopes and dreams. And some random out of nowhere
person played with his life.
I mean, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, what? Who thinks to do that?
I'm like,
I'm
so sorry,
disturbed.
and I'm like, I just don't know if I even believe that.
No, I don't know.
I don't even know if I believe it because I'm like, sorry, like you ruined this man's life
because of course the story gets worse
because of your own selfish need for
And here's the thing, because I'm also not so blind to the fact that Rainier, whatever this person's name is that we can't remember, whatever, that because he feels like he is a woman trapped in a man's body, his family's not going to understand, blah, 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 blah. So, this is why he created this other side so that he could have an outlet. I don't know what that feels like,
Yeah.
but I can empathize.
Mm-hmm.
It's the getting other people involved and you not being honest that's throwing me.
Right, and you took this really far.
I
Like
mean,
the no, I'm not saying it was right what you was doing, but the other guys asked to see you unfriended them, but this one you took it like
right. Didn't
you
even,
went over the cliff, boo.
yeah,
You went off the road over the cliff and
right.
landed and exploded. Like
Because, like you just said, everybody else, when they were just like, boom, I want to see you XYZ, he would just unfriend them.
yeah, because
But with Manti,
I think he really did fall for Manti, and that's the part of it.
and when Manti would ask to see quote unquote Lene, she would pretend like, oh, my phone, the screen's
Crack, yeah, she would
broken,
FaceTime, but then it would be black. He'd be like, "Oh, my screen cracked," and
just all sorts of stuff to continue on with this elaborate ass lie, which again is still just throwing me.
yeah. But that whole on life support had the nurse tell him, and now he's devoting every day to try to speak to her. And lo and behold, she
She
wakes up on the phone.
she wakes up
Matty,
when they're on the phone
Matty.
and she's calling his name. Like, this is such an emotional hook that I can't. I would have wanted charges brought up. Do you understand what I'm saying? You wake up, you were on life support, you wake up, and the first thing that you say is my name, bruh. Like, that's so. And he still has no clue.
No.
So he really think that this woman that he's been vibing on and that he's trying to get to know and be in a relationship with was on life support. Him calling every day has helped bring her through. And the first thing she says when she wakes up is his name.
And what? Where in there did the leukemia come about? Because I'm confused. I forgot. Was it wow? She was on life
There
support.
were
They
so many
found out
there
that.
were so many lies. I think you I think you might be right. Because you are correct. At one point,
Bruh.
after the wake up from being on life support from the car accident, yes, Lene.
And his friends was like, we just kept thinking like, man, she just has horrible.
Yeah, she's got the worst luck in the world. Because what? Correct. Like, oh my God, I'm laughing, but this,
It's
like,
not funny.
when you understand how mad I was watching it, I could have threw my TV because the depths that we will go through as human beings to get what we want,
Yeah.
because that's all it was about.
Yeah.
This wasn't about Manti.
No.
This is Manti-Te'o. He was a pawn
Yeah.
in the story of Lene.
Yep.
And pretty much, well, I'm not going to say ruined that man's life, but definitely probably altered the hell out of it.
Yeah. Wow. And then on her side of the story, it's like I found myself, and I know I'm sad it happened, but I wouldn't be where I'm like
I discovered myself because of this. You discovered yourself,
by
I feel
destroying
like,
somebody else.
me watching it at the expense defense
of
of this man.
right. The
How
sweet man.
how dare you? Yo, this thing, it gets even more deeper. So, okay, you did bring up the leukemia. I don't even know in the story at what point does the her claiming to have leukemia that she doesn't have come about. I can't even give it to you guys in order. I'm sorry, because damn. Okay, look. Okay, we can't laugh no more. We got to get through the story. I don't remember where the leukemia came in, but at some point, was it was it on game day? Was it before like the championship game at
Yeah.
Notre Dame? It was a championship game. Monty gets a phone call that morning before the game that his grandmother. Wait, let me back up. Let me back up. Because after baby girl pretends to get off life support, they're they continue to communicate
Mm-hmm.
and their relationship continues to get stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Renaya, which is the dude that's pretending to be Lene, says that once again he knows that he needs to end the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So this is when the new plan, the new the the new plan that he comes up with. So for whatever reason, which still baffles me, because this is where I feel like this is the turning point.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was some turning points before, but yeah, this is another one.
This one that made a hard left.
Mm-hmm.
That morning, Manti's grandmother passes away. He has the whole day because the game is still not until that night.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going about his day and preparing for the championship game that night. I think that baby said he in the locker room, he's somewhere doing something. And then he gets a phone call that his quote unquote girlfriend, Lene, has also passed away. She has succumbed to the leukemia. Can we back up again? I'm sorry, this is my second backup. I won't back up too many.
Back it
I
up. I'm
won't back
sorry.
up too many more times. But during the time frame when Lene is off the life support but dealing with the leukemia, let's not forget that Manti's parents say that they talk to her and they share with her their going through with a family member who also had cancer. Like, this is why this shit is so ugly to me because these people were emotionally
Invested.
vested. Correct. In a fictional character who could have pulled the plug on this shit at any given time, but continued to dig deeper. Okay, so he finds out the night of the championship game. That morning, he found out his grandma died. That night, he finds out that his quote unquote girlfriend has died from leukemia. And his coach tells him, you don't even got to play tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And he decides that, nah, like I'm going to push through. I got to put all this energy somewhere. So he plays and he dedicates the game to his grandmother and to his girlfriend who has passed away in the same day. And everybody's talking about it. The news reporters, everybody's talking about this tragic thing that had happened to this baby. And you know what even sucks? And I didn't think about it until we're talking about it right now. Like that, her pretending to die took away from the fact that that baby lost his grandmother. Like,
Yep.
I know when my grandmother died, I was inconsolable. So now here you are pretending to be dead as well. He can't even deal. How did he even deal with the death of his grandmother?
He couldn't. He didn't. It was too much. He was on emotional overload on the biggest platform of his life.
Off one of the biggest lies of his life.
Jeez.
This is why I can't understand why people think this was a hoax and that he somehow may
When
have
you
been
watch this
in
documentary,
on it.
even if after this, even if he came out and said, "Yeah, I was in on the hoax," there's nothing about this documentary when I look at Babyface and because he still looks like he don't even understand what happened.
No, and he still looks hurt.
Yeah,
Yet
he
he
still looks
says
hurt.
that he has forgiven Renaya for pretending to be Lene and causing this whole thing. And I believe that he has, but he is still very much bothered. And I can understand because I am very much
Yeah,
bothered.
because
And
I'm
it
like, you
didn't
did
even
all of
happen
that.
to me.
You did all of that.
For why? Okay. So again, this is why I said this is where the shit took a hard left. Because if you knew that you was gonna fake your death, why fake it on the same day that his grandma died? She was just trying to hurt him. She was trying to add insult to injury. Like, what were you? What was the point?
Right. You
This
could
man is
you you
already
you,
dealing with the
you
fact
could
that
have just
his.
not woke up out the coma.
She had plenty of
You
times
could
that
have
she
when
could
he
have been
started
dead in
pulling
this
away
relationship.
to just let him go. Cause where did you? What was the
She
end
could have.
game for you?
She could have ghosted his ass.
What was the end game for you? This?
It could. It couldn't have been this. A documentary. It couldn't have been a documentary. It couldn't have been. I don't. I don't think that
I don't. I mean,
all
when you
roads was
watch the
leading here.
documentary, if y'all go, I suggest you watch it. It's two different people. Like Renaya doesn't seem phased or bothered,
Mm-mm.
or I mean, she said she's sorry, but
And we don't know how that person how Renaya really feels, but just what we from what we're watching, from what we're seeing, it doesn't give I'm sorry that I kind of came through and did a tsunami through your life.
yeah, it's kind of like I mean, I never meant for it to happen. It did. It is what it is. Sorry. That's
That's
what.
that's
That's
exactly what it's
exactly what it
given.
sounds like. And
That's
then
exactly what it's given.
Matt, Manny, what is his name?
Manti-Te'o.
Manti-Te'o. I don't know why I can't get it out. He is just devastated. Like
Correct.
I don't know. It's just sad, and they lost the game.
It gets, I mean, it just gets so much worse. So after that, some anonymous person sends an
I
email.
want to know who sent the email.
Some dude, somebody who signed their name Chris. We don't know if it's a male or a
Chris, if you out
female.
there, please hit us up.
We
At Friendship Diary at gmail.com. Because I want to know who is this random Chris?
what made you send the email?
Right.
So
Because if you had to send the email, I don't think nobody, well, they probably would have eventually found
no,
out. But
this shit would eventually came out. It had to have. It had to
I
have.
mean,
Okay.
would it have
Okay.
though?
Okay. Just let me get through this part.
Yeah, it probably would have. Because, yeah, it does get worse. Go ahead.
So this random person named Chris emails this news.
Deadspin,
Yeah,
allegedly, supposedly.
I don't know if they're a journalist. I don't know. I think they're a publishing company, a newspaper. Forgive us because it sounds like Deadspin might be a thing and we don't know. But either
Yeah.
way it goes. And so Deadspin, one of the writers, starts to dig into it. Oh, wait, back. The email basically said the dead girlfriend thing connected to Monte, that it's a hoax. It's
Yeah.
not real. There is no girlfriend. So the writer or whoever it is decides to do some investigating, do some digging to find out if this Lene person who was Monte's quote unquote girlfriend, who she is, if she died from leukemia, if she was in a tragic car accident just like 30 days earlier. And through all of the investigation and digging, they pretty much find out and realize that this person is not real,
Right.
which is crazy.
Yeah, because they find the real Lene.
Correct. And they said that
Oh, wait. We skipped something that's very, very. Oh no, we hadn't got there yet.
the whole reason why they did all of this was basically they were trying
To
to
make
make,
Sports Illustrated look like a butt because they
was
are
it Sports Illustrated or just like sports, uh just
sports news in general.
sports, yeah, sports news in
I
general.
don't know.
I think it was just sports news in general. I don't know what their beef was
Either
with
way,
sports
it was
news.
petty.
Yeah, but the pettiness is what brought out the whole entire story, because some people were reporting that the girlfriend died first and
Then
then the
his
grandmother
grandmama.
died, or the girlfriend died one day and then the grandma died the next day. So they were saying that there was too many conflicting stories, and so that's why they started digging to find out the truth, plus along with the email from the person Chris saying that the story was
Right.
a hoax.
Now, mind you,
Uh-huh.
after they don't play the game, they lost. He's about to go for they have a ceremony about the Heisman Trophy, who's going to win it, all of that. Right before he goes to have to do this, lo and behold, he gets a phone call.
From Lene's sister.
Yes. And Lene's sister in the phone call say, Manti-Te'o, it's me. He's like, it's who? So the fact that he didn't recognize her voice should be where you probably think like maybe
Again, that this is not a hoax. So this person has, Renaya has changed their voice once again to where he thinks that he's talking to the sister.
yeah.
He doesn't even realize that he's talking to Lene.
Right. And when she said it's me, he said prove it. And he said you got to send me a picture.
Wait, he said the person says it's me, and Monte. Why do we mess up this man's name?
Manti-Te'o.
And why why you say it like one?
I don't know.
You say it like one word. I fuck it up. Okay.
Manti-Te'o.
Anyway, so he says me who, and Lene says it's me. Listen to my voice. You know who this is. So then he starts to freak out because you're supposed to be dead. What do you mean it's you?
Allegedly supposed to
So he's confused. So then he's like, if it's you, send me a picture with today's date, holding up a
with
sign,
these letters. Like it was
doing,
like MK, so it was
yeah,
like
doing X, Y, and Z. And so he said, and lo and behold, a few minutes later, he got a picture. We find out later on that Renaya, aka Lene, was in touch this whole entire time with the chick whose picture she used. The chick's name is Diane.
mm-hmm.
Renaya and Diane went to school together, high school together. So they were social media friends. So he was just stealing the pictures of a chick that he knew. And so he just messaged her real quick and was like, hey, do this, on a piece of paper, write today's date, hold up this sign, and
And
send
it
me a
was a finger
picture.
sign like
Yeah,
a
that he does. And send me the picture.
for
And
my sick cousin who said it would give him uh the perseverance to fight. What? Anyway.
and so the chick Diane does it.
Yep.
So Renaya then takes a picture and sends it to Monte, and he thinks that his quote unquote girlfriend is not dead.
Yeah, but he's
And
still confused as to. And then she said she had to go into hiding because
made up another lie that I couldn't keep up with, but we got to keep it. We got to keep in mind that at the same time, Deadspin has gathered all of this information, or is gathering all of this information, and is about to release this article.
and they didn't even
saying
finish all. Somebody was a whole. They didn't even finish like the full investigation, but they were so scared they was gonna get beat on the story.
that they had to
They just
release
put it
it.
out that it's a hoax, and it made it seem like. So then people getting the question: is he
By
in
this
on it?
time, though, Monte has also went back to, I'm assuming, the people that lead the whole Notre Dame
Yeah, he told
football
them.
thing, and told them, hey, look,
She's alive. Like, I don't know what's going on
I
myself. I
have
don't
I have no clue what's going on, but the chick that I was quote unquote dating who pretended to be dead. She's not dead. He had to go and tell his parents.
yeah.
His parents had to get a lawyer. It
He
wasn't
had to tell
until
his
the
agent.
it wasn't until his parents got him a lawyer that the lawyer, he said the first time that he heard catfish was from his lawyer.
Yeah.
That his lawyer had to tell him like, "Hey, I
Got
think you."
catfish. And when he explained it to me, he still didn't understand what the full concept of what he meant.
And this is why I say there's no way that he could have been in on this. This wasn't a hoax. This was, we saw this man's
Get
life get
catfish.
played
Yeah,
with.
he got catfish in front of America. That's the
That's it.
unfortunate part.
That's that's it. People get catfished all the time. They just lucky enough to get catfished behind closed doors and don't nobody know about it. Because he was who he was, this is why the shit made Netflix.
Yeah.
Which is bananas.
And the media destroyed him. So that's one thing about the media, mainstream media. They will lift you up one day, tear you down the next, and
I feel like that
they
was,
do half report. Like,
they canceled him before the whole cancel culture thing
right,
even
even
became
before
a
they even got the
thing.
whole story.
Because this was like 2012, 2013, where they just started dogging him, which
He
you can
became a meme.
tell he did become a meme. And you can tell on the documentary that that shit really hurt his heart.
It did.
Because again, he seems like he's genuinely a good person.
Right.
But people don't care.
Nope.
This is why what's our motto? What you always tell them?
Keep your heart in your chest and not on your sleeve.
Because folks will hurt your feelings and not
And not
care.
care. They didn't care this, but I just,
He was the man when he was winning all the games and blah blah blah
yeah,
blah
because
blah.
that's not to mention Notre Dame went undefeated.
Correct. After being, they were the winningest team,
And
then
then
they
the
were the
losing this
losingest
team.
team, and then they got his ass, and then they became the winningest team again. But as soon as this shit came out, according to him, he felt like everybody just turned their back on him. And I mean, we could see from the
Now,
memes and from the shows that made fun of him.
when he found out she was alive, he did go tell everybody. But as the news reporters was asking him questions, he didn't know what to say. He didn't know what to do. He like he said,
No,
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to turn, who to
because
turn to.
there's no book for this. This
No.
ain't, this is,
And his agent, his attorney, like, no, don't do. Like it was.
no, this hadn't happened to anybody else in the public eye before for it to be an example of what to do, what not to do. This shit was a first, and he just happened to be the first.
Yeah.
He ain't had no help.
No, baby looked stressed too.
Girl, even right now to this day, he still looks stressed.
He's trying to make the best out of it, but it's just like he said, like to see it and then to know that not only it's him, I think it's his family. Like he said
They
he
said that,
wanted to be the greatest. And now his name is known for something that
he said there was an article that came out called like the most hated
hated athletes.
athletes. Lance Armstrong, somebody else, and him were the top three. Why is he hated?
But I'm thinking, and then that's now I'm not gonna put nobody name out on blast, allegedly, supposedly. But there's some athletes that done a whole bunch of worse stuff than
Right.
get catfish. But he's number 3 on the list. We ain't gonna name the other athletes.
All because in my mind,
Okay. All right.
all because in my mind, he wanted what everybody else in the world wants, which is love.
Mm-hmm.
Point blank, period. And he thought he found it in Lene, somebody who has the same similar background as him, somebody who he enjoyed talking to, and that's just not what it
Now
was.
the
So
only
why cancel him? Why assume that he was in on it?
this the only thing that I have a question about, and I'm not questioning him because like I said, I believe that he didn't know. But I am curious. So when she died, you played the game or whatever. did you go to a memorial? Because I would think, look, if you calling me on the phone when she's in a car wreck, I'm talking to her up out of her coma, I'm doing, you would think you would have me at the memorial service. If it wasn't done to say, like, did you fake a whole funeral or did they lie about, like, I would love to know that part of it.
Right. I don't even think there was enough time. They don't give us like
Play by play.
they don't give us the time in this timeline. I think her pretend death and then this whole thing coming out, I feel like it was in a short span.
So
Was
before
it
he could she could actually go through the whole aspect of the funeral and all of that,
right?
she already came clean. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
it had already become a thing. It became such a thing that they said that the news media, the news crews were all at his apartment, all at Renaya, the dude that was pretending to be Lene, like all in their
I,
yard, you know,
I
of and of course.
and why did he get the brunt of the, I mean, I understand because he was the most public person, but I feel like
I feel like
not,
he was a victim.
yeah, but I feel like Renaya got off real easy.
Correct. He was the victim. As far as I'm concerned, he was the victim. Like this shit is crazy.
But
Y'all
he's the
have
most
to
hated.
watch this.
He's a hated athlete. So how do you be the victim and be hated? Oh, it can happen
Oh
because of
yeah, most
because
definitely.
of the mainstream media. Once
Of
they paint a
course.
narrative, it's hard to fight the narrative.
Now,
What's
mind
that
you, during
saying that
this time,
says if it's if everybody believes the lie, it don't even matter if you know the truth or you give them the truth or the
no,
truth has been proven. The
no,
truth don't matter if everybody continues to believe the lie.
correct.
That's some real stuff, ain't it?
Yes, and that's horrible.
It is.
Just because a bunch of people say so. Also, let's not forget that during this time frame, he graduates from Notre Dame. He's expected to go into the NFL, and
He was expected to go in the first round.
he is expected to be drafted in the first round, and he's not.
Nope.
And so all the newscasters and sportscasters are like, boom, do you think this whole story, this hoax, could be the reason why he wasn't a part of the first round draft? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And the people were saying, like, yeah, like no NFL team wants drama on their team. He didn't cause this. And I feel like for me, it got even worse when, because I don't know football.
Mm-hmm.
So when they said that being in the first round draft
Mm-hmm.
or the second round is a difference in some millions,
It is.
that's crazy. So what you're saying is that this dude Renaya, who he did not know, pretended to be a woman, catfished him, and at the end of the day, embarrassed him in front of the country, and then boom, at the end of the day, also cost him millions of dollars. That's too much. That's too much. How does man still on this side of heaven?
Really? That's what you,
Girl,
that's what you that's when you went.
that's a
I didn't
lot.
think he was going there.
That's a lot. And
It
did you see
is.
how it is still affecting him? First of all, he said that at Notre Dame, he played in front of 80,000 people. So that's 80,000 people that we know right off the top that's paying attention to him and what's going on in his life.
Not to mention Renaya showed up as himself with the niece.
To one of his games. Okay. After supposedly Lene had died. Like that again, that's the numbers, the amount of people who are vested in him. That's why I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
if he played and in the stands was 80,000 people, let's not even talk about all the people who was rooting for this man who was not even at the game. Like, this is a lot of people that are vested in him.
Yeah. And that's why he said he, even to this day, like it's the, and he's like, and people used to want to take pictures with him because they pretended to be fans, but then they just wanted to make fun of him. But he was like, for the
That's
people
gotta
that
be
I am really,
hurtful.
it do that I am really an inspiration to. This is why I keep going. This is why I do what I do, and it took football from him. I don't care what you say.
He said he
Well,
couldn't even play the same.
no, because he didn't even, he doubted his, like it shattered
He did
something in him.
he didn't trust himself anymore,
No.
which is totally understandable. How can you trust yourself after it's just like, boom, I allowed myself to get played, and not only did I allow myself to get played, I allowed myself to get played in front of everybody.
Yep.
Pretty much the majority of the country loves football.
Yeah.
A lot of people love college football. So again, I don't know the number, but I'm pretty sure that his name was, I don't know, a household name.
Yeah.
Now, because I don't know shit about football, I didn't know anything about this story. So okay, but I don't know anything about football. But because you know football, you knew a little bit about this story.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like, this is not how this man should be remembered.
No, it's sad. But I'm glad that came out with this documentary. I'm glad he got a chance to tell his side of the story. And look, people, we just got to be nicer to people until we hear. You got to hear
No,
the whole
you
story. And
okay,
people, let's
yes,
stop.
and
And let's stop.
you're saying that in regards to the people who automatically took the side of them thinking that this was a hoax, that
Yes,
he was in
but
on it.
because it was reported that way, we need to. You know what? You know what?
I don't feel like it was reported that way because they talked about Renaya in the article. I think people just drew their own
Conclusions.
conclusion.
So you think they took it out of context?
Absolutely. They
But
said
that's
that
why it's
he
important to get the
pretended,
whole story and not put
but
out half a story.
I don't think that people cared
They
because
didn't.
they said that this man pretended to have a girlfriend to cover up the fact that he was gay. What? Where did they get that from? That's just some shit that they also pulled out of the air.
Right. And then if he gonna pretend to
Nobody
have a
asked this
girlfriend,
man
why would it be
nothing.
a dude playing a girl? If you're trying to hide the fact, it didn't even make sense. I don't know.
Correct. That's why I said none of this
Because
made
everybody
sense.
wanna spin the story, sensationalize it,
They
ride the
autom-
bandwagon.
they automatically doubted him. It doesn't seem like he got the benefit of the doubt for most people, which again is so disheartening because
And he said he just done what people told him to do. I'm pretty sure his agent said don't talk about it. Pretty sure his lawyer said don't talk about it. So because he probably didn't talk about it, it allowed everybody
to draw their
to
own
draw their
conclusions.
own conclusions
You're right. You're right.
instead of just
And that's sad
coming
though.
straight out,
Right. And talking about it.
Yeah.
Which, we don't know what the advice that was given was. All I know is now this man has a documentary on Netflix, not about him being one of the greatest football players of all time, but because he was catfished
In front of America.
in front of America.
Man,
Yes, ma'am.
that's all, bruh.
I'm sorry, that's hard. I'm
That
not
is.
saying, and I said that I'm surprised that he's still on this side of heaven just because that must weigh something terrible because he cared about Lene. He said, I'm praying for you. Let's pray together. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always to me going to go back to the intimacy of the prayer
Yeah.
or of the praying together, only for you not to be a real person. Like, that's crazy. It's hurtful. And I'm going to continue to pray for this man. We know, I Googled, so we know that he's still doing very well in life. He's married, he has a daughter. I think his missus is currently pregnant, and he does these speaking engagements. And, at the end of it, it seems like everything worked out and is going the way that it was supposed to go. But damn, what a hard ass journey.
It was. Ah,
Y'all just gotta watch it.
yeah.
Netflix, Untold,
I got respect for him, just
the
because
girlfriend who didn't exist,
it's a hard thing to face and come out and
and be better on the
and be
other
up, be
side
out
of
on the
it.
other side.
But I believe that he is, and that just, like he said, that's all praises. We know who that goes to.
Yep.
Come back next Tuesday, y'all. We'll be here.
Peace.